Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Uproar in the palace of the Ooni of Ife as Iyamifa allegedly makes very disturbing fresh discovery at the palace. Iyamifa unearthed two charms buried in the palace to stop Dr. Elizabeth from ever getting pregnant for the Ooni of Ife. It is said that you should not expect to be offered a chair when you are visiting a place where the chief sits on the ground. If anybody would say that this was not expected, I would be saying that that person is living in denial because, of course, if you have been following the trajectory of events in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, you're supposed to know that this is one of the things they would do in that palace of the Ooni of Ife. But as God will have it now, Iyamifa has come back. And this time, Iyamifa has come to spend a very long time in the palace because Ooni of Ife is not about to let things just slide the way they used to be. Okay, so right now, as we are hearing, they say Iyamifa made a very fresh discovery again that Iyamifa unearthed, that is, discovered, removed from the ground, two charms that were buried. And they said the charms were buried to stop Dr. Elizabeth from getting pregnant. Now, for you to know that, these things are being done deliberately for reasons. They said these two charms were removed from the areas, one of those areas where there are no restrictions, okay? So what that means is that Ooni of Ife, posting that restriction was, a very, very good idea. So now the question is that why will they feel the need to do this to Dr. Elizabeth? Dr. Lizzie, one of the biggest, miracle that can happen to Dr. Lizzie right now is to, give birth to a child for the Ooni of Ife. Now, if you look at what is going on, all these women who are married to Ooni of Ife, there is no one that doesn't have a child. They had children in their previous marriages. Some of them have two. Some of them have three kids in their previous marriages. Dr. Elizabeth happens to be the one woman that has never, ever been married before, and the Ooni of Ife brought her. And if it's natural for her to be, kind of desperate to get a child because they said she is very desperate, even though she is struggling so much to get Naomi to be situated in the palace with the Ooni of Ife. They say she has not really been happy. Then if you look at Dr. Elizabeth closely, you see that Dr. Elizabeth is not somebody who is like jai all over the place. She's a very conservative person, and she has never, if not that she eventually got married to the Ooni of Ife, she was never a social media person from the very beginning. That was why you find out that time that they just got married, bloggers were finding it so difficult to get any of her pictures anywhere. They kept using that one single picture that was everywhere. Then again, right now, for these people to think of doing this to Dr. Elizabeth is the height of all wickedness. They said Iyamifa discovered that charm. You know that she has started her fortification exercise because the reason why she was brought into the palace in the first place was because of the fortification. They want her to, do the fortification so that these things that are happening in the palace will kind of reduce and people will not have the chance to do certain things inside the palace again. As she stepped out to start her fortification exercise, the first thing she saw that there is a brand new charm that has been, the last time she was in the palace, she had removed a lot of charms from the palace. And right now, they say after that time, they went to bury, but unfortunately for them, they didn't get access. They only buried around the areas where they are where they are allowed into, and Iyamifa removed two of those charms. Now, Iyamifa is working out modalities to identify the people who buried the chant, but Kabiyesi is saying that they will summon them and ask them for once. If nobody agrees, this time he's going to bring out his ancient sword. They say that's the gbasgbos that is going on in the palace, and Dr. Elizabeth is very devastated. She's been crying so much over what had happened. They said she called Olori Naomi. She was crying. Olori Naomi told her that she needs to be strong, that this is not the time to, make the enemy feel like they are defeating you, that she needs to be strong. Dr. Elizabeth wants kids for herself. If you look at her, Dr. Elizabeth is not as young as Toby, neither is she as young as Naomi. She should be in her 38 or 39 right now. And at that age, any woman will be desperate. They want to have children before you hear eggs wahala in women. And, she's already been in the palace for over a year right now. She's been trying to get pregnant, it's not holding. She's trying to get pregnant, it's not holding. And it became very disappointing when the Ooni of Ife said they buried something. I mean, the Iyamifa discovered that they buried something to hold Dr. Elizabeth's pregnancy, and that it was a very powerful thing. And so right now, a ritual is supposed to be done to, take away the effect of that thing that was buried in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Della Ram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the sources still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you so much. I love you. Esheo adukbeo, my Della right. If I no thank una waiting again, if I no promote una, in fact waiting again, I appreciate una so much. If you're yet to subscribe, please kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Now, what reason do you think they have to have gone to plant stuff to stop Dr. Elizabeth from getting pregnant? The fact that she's always behind Naomi, the fact that they feel that the reason why things have, snowball to where what it is right now is because of Dr. Elizabeth. Because they feel that Dr. Elizabeth is in support of Olori Naomi. They feel like they are in this position where they succeeded in moving them to the royal Olori mansion because of Dr. Elizabeth. Because most of the ideas that have been working in the palace of the Ooni of Ife are ideas that actually came from Dr. Elizabeth. Dr. Elizabeth is a very sensible person, and she's pragmatic, and she is somebody who she's very she will just, she takes her time to do stuff, okay? And so they feel that the reason why these things are beginning to work is because of the ideas that Dr. Elizabeth is putting on the head of in the head of the Ooni of Ife, and the reason why Queen Naomi succeeded in coming back into the palace and embracing the royal manor, which it brings so much disadvantages to them, is because of Dr. Elizabeth. So they would do everything to frustrate Dr. Elizabeth, because Dr. Elizabeth is already showing some kind of frustration that by this time she's not pregnant in the palace, and that is why they are doing what they are doing to her. Iyamifa is saying that she's going to do everything that is within her power to ensure that it drains the effect of that jazz that was planted against Dr. Elizabeth in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, and speculated information making the rounds on social media. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.